Greetings, queens and kings. If you stopping by, welcome back to my channel. Please get in here, listen. Let's kiki a little bit and talk about what happened this incredible episode. Like, subscribe, share with friends and family, and I really appreciate you taking the time to join me. Listen, family, do you think that the thought of Karen being dead really let Zach see how much he still loves and cares for her? I mean, 3 years, it's not that easy just to throw away. Let's get into it. Well, last week we got the news about Karen possibly being dead from Pam, and Zach was out of there. Andy, she was a mess. She almost couldn't walk. And Fatima, she volunteered to take them, which was very big of her. But let's remember, her and Zach came in together to talk about the situation with Heather. And now they're blindsided with Zach basically being overwhelmed with emotion on the fact that his ex may be gone. So that took a toll on Fatima. I mean, look at her face. There's a lot of emotion going on. And then Andy finds out from Pam that she is the one who is probably responsible for her possible death. So she was pissed off with Pam about that. So they, are rushing. I know it's going through Fatima's head that Zach, just the way he took off, really shows that he still cares for this woman. So, I mean, it's a lot gnawing at Fatima. I'm thinking if I was in that situation, how would I feel? How would you feel? Put in the comments. Now, Andy told her to call Danny. Danny's like, what's going on? She's nervous. She can hear from Fatima, and Andy saying, listen, just basically get your behind to this salon because something is going on. So now Danny is really like, oh boy, what's going on? Okay, I'll be there. So Andy can't believe it. She is in total turmoil. And the fact that Pam is there and knowing that you may be the cause of my friend's death, you lucky they didn't put you out on the street at this point. But, that's yet to be discovered. So they're rushing off. And I'm just really, the intensity of this moment of friendship is really, really sad. What they're going through. Now, meanwhile, Q is at the hospital and he is trying to milk this for all it can be. Now, this Fed guy, please help me to understand why he has such a vendetta, knowing Q's track record to use these people to set up Sabrina and Maurice. Is there more from this agent than is, meets the eye? Is there more to be found out? Is it something in Sabrina's past that has to do with him that they don't recall? Is it something with Maurice's past? Does he have some special vendetta against them? Why is he really using this career criminal to set them up? And he's basically telling them, you're wrong. I'm not doing anything against Maurice because you had no business going there with a gun in the first place against this man. Now you get up out of this bed because I got this case to still deal with, and we got people to burn and get in jail for this crime with the bank. And Q is basically saying that he's hurt. He said, no, I spoke to the nurse. There's nothing wrong with you. Q has nowhere to stay. Let me know if you was thinking the same thing. Q has nowhere to go. So to be in this hospital bed, getting meals, waited on, this is a luxury. He doesn't have Maurice's apartment to go back to. He doesn't have his car to go stay or sleep in. So, and he sure doesn't have Danny. So he's in a bad situation. I don't know how this is going to play out, but they basically need Q to confess, bring this to higher ups that's over this guy, because he's not trying to hear anything else except Maurice and Sabrina frying for this. So we need Q absolutely set up with his own confession so we can free Maurice and Sabrina from this mess. Now, I'm glad Bayou didn't, kidnap our sister. They coming back from their little lunch. She left her phone. She has no idea what's going on, but she's about to see all of the missed calls in a minute from her girls, and she realizes, wow, there's some missed calls. So Bayou saying how much of a good time he's had. Now, in the meantime, in comes Maurice. Now, Maurice is like, this is my African prince. I'm so happy, thank you. And Maurice is gonna be Maurice. However, being an African in his country and his culture, he's not so, on board with, Maurice's lifestyle. And, Maurice is going to see that he has, he's homophobic, and homophobic. I can't even get it out. And Sabrina was not happy when Bayou called him, said you basically disgust me, because he was telling him, Maurice said that he liked men, and he was not feeling that. And so Maurice, like, you better see, your friend, this man that you like, has something against me. So she gets a call from Danny, basically, and Danny tells her that there's a situation at the salon, and we're going to have to go over there. And she said, what is it? She said, I don't know, but I'm scared. So now she's freaking out, and, she tells Maurice, and Maurice is like, oh my God, okay, what's going on? Let me go with you. So they're rushing. She's frazzled, and, they about to get a rude awakening, or so they think, of the situation with Andy. So they all get there, and the thing about it is, everybody's man is there. Zach is about to lose his freaking mind. He doesn't even see Fatima, could care less about Fatima, and she's witnessing all of that. It's like she's not even there. I don't know if Fatima should be consoling him, even though she's upset about carrying another woman that she's basically competing with, who's carrying his child, or she should be there for her friend and her boss. So it's one of those situations. Do you think she should have been there trying to comfort Zach through all his pain after he basically ran out and left her, or do you think she was best at the aid of Andy? I don't know. It may be two sides. We may have two opinions on this. So Danny comes, and she's like, what's going on? And she, our girl's not trying to believe that. Like, do we know for sure that is Karen? Then Sabrina rushes in, and she realizes, like, no, she's not trying to hear that. Sabrina is a lot more fragile, not as tough as Danny and the others, and she, she's about to lose it. I mean, this is their best friend since college. This is hard to deal with. There was a fire, and she's gone. So this whole scene was very emotional. There's a lot of conflict. I think the thing that stuck out the most with everyone is the fact that Zach seemed to have took this the hardest. If you notice that Aaron, he might have been a little angry about the situation and not getting immediate help, but do you think he wasn't that choked up over the situation? I wasn't really getting a whole lot of emotion based on this somebody that he's supposed to be so in love with. I wasn't feeling that for Aaron. He's getting shady about a minute to me. Zach, you can really feel from the heart the love that he still has for Karen. So now Gary at this point is saying, here's the coroner. Let's find out what's going on. So he's inside basically checking out everything. And, so you have Calvin there for Sabrina. You have, Maurice is there for Sabrina. You have Gary there for Andy. You have Preston there for Danny. So everyone has their man there in their corner. And that's great. I'm so happy to find out that Preston ran to her aid. And, Danny can really see, the love he has for her. In the meantime, Fatima can't stop looking at Zach. She can't believe how he's carrying on. I can't believe it either. So the coroner is here, and he's saying, who's next of kin? And they like all of us. So he said, yeah, this person is identified as, dead. This person is deceased. But he doesn't say who's deceased. He didn't say the sex of the person. He didn't identify her in any type of way. I guess maybe the person was burnt, but I mean, you should be able to maybe see if it was a male or female. So once he found out that the person is dead, they basically all collapsed. They all fell. Andy's losing it. Preston basically had to catch Danny from off the ground. Of course, Zach is busting a million pieces. Sabrina, Calvin has to keep her from passing out. Maurice is distraught. This is a very, very sad situation, a very emotional situation. Nobody really knew what was going on with Karen. At this point, they basically feel that it's confirmed, right, that she is gone. Not once did Zach come to lean on Fatima, thought about Fatima at all. But lo and behold, our girl popped up out of nowhere, walking down the street like, what? Why y'all out here acting a fool? My place, and Aaron's looking like he saw a ghost, but still didn't run to her aid and scoop her up like Zach did. As soon as Zach saw she was alive, Zach grabbed her like she was water in a desert, and he was like basically dying of thirst for the past 30 days. This man scooped this woman up with everything in him. She grabbed him like, oh my God. So you know good and well she felt the love. We all felt how much Zach loved her. So, Gary is probably like, calm down. Danny's over here looking like, what the freak? Like, I don't know if it's so much the shock of Karen being alive or Zach's reaction. He's looking at her. Look at this. This is a very tender moment. The way he got her face, like, he basically said, baby, don't worry about nothing. I'm like, the gut to the punch, how Fatima's stomach was probably in her pants. The way she looked at him, it was so uncomfortable. She got everybody here that loves Karen, hurt over Karen. Her man is distraught over Karen. It was just a very uncomfortable situation for Fatima to be in. He told her, don't worry about anything. He's going to fix her salon so she don't have to worry about the loss. He's going to rebuild for her. And that's all Karen ever wanted to hear. The way he was acting, the love he showed for her, that really took a lot. But when somebody you think is dead and you lost them permanently, it brings out a lot of feelings. So they basically had to push Zach outside because he didn't want to let her go. And, Andy's like, get out the way. We want to show her some love. We glad that she is living. Now, our girl, Danny, she bounced right back like, B, you ain't dead. Okay, I'm going to go back to the way things was. How dare you, damn it, scare us in this way. So Aaron's talking to her. I didn't even see Aaron hug her at all. She was saying she found out at this point that there was somebody that died in there, and she feels so bad. She wants to go inside, but she can't. And, it was just heartbreaking. But during an emotional time, the dust settled. So Karen was telling them how this man helped her. He found her on the floor. There were some people that were in the back, homeless people. And that's one of the gentlemen that died in there, a homeless guy who went in, I guess, maybe to catch shelter. So Pam realized that from the coroner that the fire started in the back. So one of the homeless people probably set it to keep warm or whatnot. And that wasn't something that Pam did. So they all got to like apologize to her for that. Even though she took a picture and the curls was on, the fire didn't start because of her. So Danny was like, basically, bitch, you not dead. So don't say nothing because you not dead. So they wind up all, scooping her up, leaving, I guess, to calm down. And just look at Fatima. Look at her face. Do you think she has a right to be this upset? I mean, I get it. I can see being upset. It's a lot of questions going on through your mind. It's really revealing how, your fiance feels about his ex. And everyone realized that. Now, the girls just left the guys like, y'all can get home the best way y'all know how. Pam is left there and she needs a ride, and none of them really want to deal with her. But Pam pointed it out. Did you see Fatima's face? Like, you paid her no mind. You left. Now this is something, bro, you're going to have to deal with later when you get home. Everybody saw it but Zach. Zach, he was in the moment, but now that he knows she okay, he has to really have a talk within himself. He really does. Because this is looking bad. So everybody is basically like, okay, we gonna leave. They all probably thinking the same thing, brother. This was a very uncomfortable moment. So they walking away. Maurice like, I need one of you men to take me home. And nobody wants to be bothered with Pam. But Pam like, one of y'all mofos gonna give me a ride. So Aaron had to call her and apologize to Pam for the situation with the ride and blaming her. Do y'all think maybe in the future Aaron and Pam might get together? Because, I mean, I don't see him and Karen outside of maybe he's her baby father once it all rolls out. But these two, the way they at each other's throat, what if they in the future wind up together? That's real funny, right? That's real funny. But, yeah, he had to apologize. And, she said, yeah, with all, because, you was really, messed up with me. So that was that. Now, Fatima, she calling her girl Angela. And I'm surprisingly enough, Angela played devil's advocate to let her know the situation. She thinks she feels like a fool about how all that transpired. She took a ride share, Uber, Lyft, whatever, and came to this bar. Like, he didn't even see that she left. it's really a sad situation, and I don't totally blame Fatima. Um, should she have consoled him through this? I don't know. It might have been a situation where she felt that Andy needed her more than Zach, because Zach was just, totally ignored her. But it was a rough situation, and she told her, this man, thought she died. Do you care? She said, of course I care. That's not the point. But she just want to know if she's being foolish, still sticking by this man, knowing he still has feelings for Karen. So she was like, she basically understood. But this woman is also Karen, his child, possibly. So it's a lot to this situation. Now the girls are all, at the house. They're talking now. They really, trying to take all of this in. And our girl just want to get high. So, Danny has them set. She has everything prepared for them. She was with weed. She will travel. She is not going away without her anxiety be gone stick. So they all getting some of that. They needed that. This was a very draining day to think that your best friend died. So they're having a little conversation, I guess trying to go through the day, see if Karen's, see if Karen's okay. Now, one of the things that was very poignant is the fact, our girl Danny's gonna bring it up. I feel bad for Fatima. What did she think? Did y'all see how Zach carried on? And, Karen noticed it. Now she's thinking, does this man really, love me? Do I still probably have a chance with him? She knows who the baby's father is, but she's not telling them. So they pissed off with that you really not going to say? Now, Danny think that Andy knows, but Andy don't know. She not saying. Now, the way that Zach is carrying on, even if he's not the baby in his errand, she going to want him to be at this point. She is going to want him to be the father. The thing is, Fatima, they want Danny to shut up, but they was like, did y'all see her? I feel bad for her, because in the midst of all this going on, everybody noticed how Zach was, and they noticed Fatima. So everybody's smoking like, to be continued on that. So until next week, family, I can't wait. Let's get into the next episode.